time to live stream, but before that, it's also time to weigh in. The live stream you can catch on Twitch as usual. It's become an every weekend thing, and I kind of like it. It kind of messes with the schedule for the body composition weigh-in thing. Not sure what to do about that. So will be a bit less statistics today, but oh well. Don't think I lost much. I have had some issues. Nothing serious. It's just like I've been making some mistakes. We'll talk about that on the actual camera afterwards. So let's see how much it is now. I think it was 105.6 last week, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, I had a feeling. Point one. But you know what, that I kind of expected. I was actually afraid I would have gone up. So we'll have a chat about that.
Well, so that was a disappointing way in. Well, not disappointing. 0.1 kilo since last week. That's happened before. I sort of hesitating doing these videos a couple of times now recently because I don't really have that much to talk about. One thing that's been going on in my mind is, and a lot of you guys know this, pretty much the only people that watched this series of videos are what I'd like to think of as like the core following of the channel. Because these obviously are not gaming videos. This is just, actually this is not even interesting. This is just me sharing an experience. It might be interesting. Oh, trying out a new hairdo here now, usually with wax. Look at that. Alright, anyways. Freaking Hitler do get going here now. We'll do it like that. I'll actually sit up. Okay. When you don't have so much hair on the sides, you have to be creative with it, you know. So I've been let's try to pull these things together here. My thoughts on things. There's a couple of things I've been lacking on the channel. There's two things coming up that is new. One of the things, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that now, is something I've been wanting to do forever, is to have some guests and talk about whatever that guest is into. To begin with, I have a special guest lined up. I won't say the name now. Is a YouTuber, and these are generally going to be YouTubers. Someone that is like a media personality of some kind, either a streamer or a YouTuber, or somehow doing something publicly that is interesting to us. That has a page that can where we can basically where the exposure here can help them out some tiny fraction of an amount. So that would be. The first guest don't need my help, by the way. He's way bigger than me, but he's a good friend, a YouTuber. So that will be the first thing. But we'll go into more detail on that later. The second thing is, I'm considering as these weight loss videos get less and less groundbreaking, so to say. Like it's going to be a regular thing, you know. So it's not like any super interesting things happens on a weekly basis with the weight loss. So given the name of the series, the weekly weigh-ins, I'm considering to weigh in on a completely unrelated subject at those times, and I'd really like your feedback on that, because I have a lot of have a lot of things I want to talk about, and it could be maybe do a weekly thing, maybe just entirely different videos on that particular subject. Don't know yet. We'll see. So that's those things. So in the regarding the weight loss this time, what have I been doing wrong? Well, kind of like last week, I've been kind of sloppy, I guess. I haven't been eating things I shouldn't on purpose, but I've been sort of experimenting a little bit with things I wasn't sure if they were bad or not, like things I wasn't entirely sure about the ingredients of it. And for those of you who have just joined up, this series here is what we're doing is I'm on the ketogenic diet, and ketogenic diet is essentially a diet where you eat close to no carbohydrates. You eat mostly fat, medium amount of protein, and as little carbohydrate as you can. 5% of your total intake should be carbohydrate, no more. Which is difficult, but I know like safe foods now. I have that under pretty much control. What's changed? Well, first of all, I got very tired of egg and bacon, which I ate a lot of before. Egg and bacon is pretty much like the perfect food for the ketogenic diet. It has a lot of fat, and it has a decent amount of protein, and it has absolutely no carbs that I know of, at least very little. And I got so tired of that because I've been eating that for like 2.5 months now. So I was like, oh man, no more. So I've been eating a lot of vegetables. My wife is Chinese, so she's a very good cook, and she makes a lot of dishes. She's been making some that I could probably eat recently, and I've tried a few of those. Problem with Chinese cooking is that there's sauces in everything, and many of those sauces are soy based, which has a bit of sugars in it, a lot of sugars presumably, and that has been setting me back a bit. I thought that would maybe not hurt. I haven't been Googling it properly enough, and it's also hard to find those ingredients she buys on Google because they're like import stuff from China, and it has no what's it called, macros on the back saying what it is. So that's one thing. Soups, I've been eating some soups recently that I wasn't sure whether they had carbs in it. Like for example, cauliflower soup, one of my favorite soups. You can make that in essentially 2 ways, with or without flour. And sometimes when they have soup at work, I try them and I can't tell whether there's flour in them or not. So that's I probably missed a few of those. So instead of the egg and bacon big meals that I've had, I've been relying on snacks. This is like my go-to snack, almonds. Very good. That's probably like the type of nut, if you will, that has the least carbs. You could probably eat a whole lot of those. But again, nuts is not something you should base your whole diet on because they have too much carbs. It's a little snack by the side. I've been eating way too much of it. Other thing I've been eating is it's called pork cracklings as a snack. I need my snack, and they are also very good. There are different types of them. Pork cracklings is basically fried pork skin, and they're very dry. And you can get them in different varieties. Some of them are even fried in their own fat, so they're basically super healthy in this diet anyway. Saturated fat, or I don't know which is which in English, that is. So that's a very good snack for this diet. But some of them has a lot of protein and not so much fat. The other ones are the other way around. I like the ones with more protein, which is not optimal for the diet. And that's another thing that came up this week in the media here in Denmark anyway. There's been a lot of reports on how high protein diets are actually very unhealthy for you, for like your heart and whatever. So yeah, I have to go back to higher percentages of fat, because recently I've been just thinking like, like I think I mentioned this before, that I never knew really why why such a high percentage of fat? Why not just little fat, high protein, and no carbs? Because what you're doing is basically with a ketogenic diet, you turn the body into thinking that, or reacting to the fact that it has no carbs for energy, to fuel like your everything, your brain and your body and whatever. And since it has no carbs, it starts fueling on fat instead. So I was thinking, if it doesn't get any fat either, it will use the fat it has, which is considerable in my in my case. Which is true, but it's also very unhealthy, to the best of my knowledge. And again, I mentioned this in pretty much every video. Don't take any of my experiences as advice. I'm just testing this on myself. I don't know much about it. I'm just learning as I go. Look it up for yourself. Reddit has a lot of good threads about it, or there's a subreddit for keto. So what's coming up? Well, because of all these little health tweaks that I'm very curious about, and whether or not it's dangerous or not to do it like this, I'm going to the doctors next week to have some tests taken, basically like a full health check with all the blood and urine and whatever, everything, to check up on, I don't even know what it's called, like like cholesterol and all sorts of things my body contains. And I did have one of those tests just before I started the diet, coincidentally as well. So it will be interesting to see how about 2.5 to 3 months of this diet has affected my body in that regard, not just weight-wise. So yeah, that's what's coming up. So probably not next one, but the week after, I'll have an update on that, and that will be very interesting. Then I'll have something to talk about. But let me know what you think about those two suggestions before, like the different topics, weighing in on different topics, and also on the guest show. And if you have anyone that you'd like to be on the upcoming show, let them know. Let me know. Probably after we do the first episode, though, would be better. You can leave it in the comments there. Suggestions always welcome. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.